Thanks for all coming on the bank holiday weekend. Appreciate some people don't want to be here, but we need to get this moving. And I think we're all itching to get stuff done. I am. I'm sure everybody else is. So, apologies for absence. I've got apologies from Dick Mo. I've got apologies from Kevin Tapp. Any more? Okay, so we'll move on to receive declarations of interest on items on the agenda. Has anybody got any interest dispensation on any of the items that we're going to discuss today? No? To approve the minutes of the meeting held on the 16th of July as a true record. There's no seen the minutes. Everybody happy with them?
No, we agreed that we would hold off the business case, and in here it says that we would agree to update it.
Say that again, sorry.
We agreed at the meeting to hold off on the business case for now. The minutes say we've agreed to update it.
Update what, sorry?
Update the business case.
The business case is a lot of documents, you know that, I know that. Everybody else knows that, so it is what it is, so it just sits there. So whereas we update it or not, it makes no difference. So it's just sitting there, so I'm happy with that.
We agreed that the minutes need to be accurate.
Everybody
and
agreed.
that's not accurate, is it?
Yeah, should we have a hands who agreed to the minutes of the last meeting, please?
I don't think, Carl, seriously, this sort of behaviour won't do. Rob Lucas has a legitimate remark to make about this. I don't know where he is.
Well, that's it.
I'm sorry he's not
He
here.
can't come in.
But he is unhappy with that word, and you're just going to bulldoze it through.
Well, I'm telling you what I'm telling you is that business plan is a live document. It's been live for 7 years, as far as I'm told, and that's how that was sit. Now, no one's saying they're going to work on it, and no one's saying they're not going to work on it. What I'm saying to you is that it's a live document, and that will sit there until we decide we're going to work on it.
My understanding was that what he was wanting to say was that, perhaps Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong, but that the business plan was in effect frozen for the time being, and would not be worked on.
Even so, the minutes have to be accurate.
That's correct.
And that's enough, it is right.
Yeah.
But that's not accurate.
Okay.
So that accuracy needs correct.
Okay, then we'll remain that in the minutes then.
Thank you very much.
Hang on, so it's the minutes are incorrect due to business plan.
Yes.
So it's a live document.
It's a live document, as far as I'm concerned, it's a live document, sitting there for 7 years.
No one's done this on the minutes, so we should do minutes.
So just to get, you know, the meeting, we will freeze it. We will change it to that. Is to be.
The word is frozen. Yeah, good. Thank you.
Okay, so on 4 on the agenda is to receive feedback on meeting with the preschool and the Bowls Club. I sent emails out to the Bowls Club and the preschool. I had a reply from Neil from the Bowls Club, and he said that someone may well be turning up tonight. I gave you a hint. I'll get to you in a second if you don't mind. And then also I sent an email to the playgroup, and I had an email from, I can't remember her name, but I think she's the chair. Kerry, is it? Kerry? I think it was Kerry. So I had an email. Did you see the email too? He was copied in.
If I've been CC'd, then yes I have.
Say again?
If I've been CC'd, then yes I have.
Okay, so I had that come through. So is anybody from Playschool here today? Surprise.
No, what do you mean supplies?
Well,
You have spent months at the main parish council meeting bullying the preschool. Then you email them expecting them to come to a meeting with you. Are you serious?
how do I bully the Playschool?
Repeatedly all the content.
How do I bully the Playschool? I'm not bullying the
You've
Playschool.
attacked
I'm not bullying
them.
anybody.
You've attacked them at every single parish meeting for months now.
Steve,
And then you ask them to come to a meeting with you. Do you think they're really going to do it?
I didn't mention the Playschool. I never mentioned the plants. You want to get me
You put 30 place in.
I asked one certain person, I didn't even ask that person for the information that I was required, and this person took it upon himself to give me that information and didn't want to give me.
So they feel
Is that the
intimidated.
Playschool? Did I ask the Playschool for any information?
They feel intimidated by yourself.
Did I ask the Playschool for any information? Sorry.
You made it quite clear.
Did I ask the
You made it
Playschool?
quite clear.
Ask the question, yes or no? Simple question, Steve.
You made it
Did
quite
I,
clear.
Steve, did I ask the question to the Playschool?
I've asked what you just said to me.
Did I ask-
Yes, you have made it quite clear.
Did I
It has
ask
been
the preschool
obvious you've been
directly?
attacking the preschool.
Answer the question.
If we want the preschool
Yes
involved
or
in
no?
this, There is
Yes or
somebody
no?
else needs to speak to the preschool other than yourself, don't we?
Yes or no?
Thank you very much.
Yes or no?
Can
Did I ask the play school director, Steve?
excuse me,
The
Chair.
answer to that is no.
Can I interrupt?
I'm
Apologies.
not talking to you, I was talking to Steve.
Oh, okay.
Can you just wait your time? So I just want to straight answer
Apologise
to
for
you.
being late.
Because once again, Steve, again, you've got it all wrong.
I'll start
Okay,
with every single
right.
one of them meetings where you attack
Carry
them.
on.
Apologies for being late. That's all I was saying.
Well, hang on.
Okay,
There's an
so-
email-
So I missed something. I do apologise.
Second, Rob, if I may. Sorry, Carl. Are you saying there's an email reply from the playgroup?
Yes.
I'm not sure I've had it. If I have,
No, you haven't. Because you wasn't
are you going to tell us what's in it?
I will tell you once I get to it.
Can I just say, you said it was no surprise that Play School hasn't been in touch, but it is school holidays, so that might explain it, I wonder. I don't
I
know.
said they have been in touch.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, I said that.
Right, okay. What was the no surprise thing about then? The fact they're not here tonight?
Sorry, I missed the reading, sorry. There's no open to the public. Can you just be
The no surprise is the fact that the warden replied to Mr. Tordoff after we spent much money on it.
Okay, so I've had a reply. Steve, you're correct, yeah? So on that reply is so they replied to me to say that I believe her name was Kerry, what sure it was, that she could not make evening meetings and she would see if they could get someone to turn up. I offered two other dates, and no one got back to me. But I did get an email with two. All I can say is the two letters really, but I'm not going to read them out, and I'll tell you for why I'm not going to read them out. I will circulate them to you all, so it's not something I'm trying to hide, but I'm not going to read them out because firstly they're not even addressed to anybody. Secondly, they haven't even got a name, address or anything on them, so anybody could have wrote these. So I will forward them on to you after the meeting so everybody can have a look at what I received.
Could you read the rest of the email out, please?
Sorry?
Could you read the rest of the email out? You missed quite an important second paragraph there, haven't you? We have consulted with Ofsted and unfortunately they will not provide any correspondence based on drawings. They have, however, verbally confirmed that it concerns the genuine.
Thank you. I said I'll send the email off to them, yeah. So they let me to read it.
Sorry, what does that mean then?
It means that Ofsted will not let them move into the plans as they exist at the moment.
Well, we can't. What's the point of being here? We cannot proceed. I mean, the playgroup is a very important constituent part
No
of
one's
this village.
saying- no
We
one's
can't
saying
really
it's
proceed with anything
Can I-
unless we have them involved.
Can I ask?
Can we?
Can I ask? Where are we in the agenda, please?
Sorry?
We're for item 4. Cool, we escalated quickly. I'll just dive in there and simply say I would strongly recommend deferring this until discussion in regards to the preschool. There are things that I can't divulge right now in regards to the preschool that would make the whole conversation about preschool a lot more, let's just say, less of an issue and more of a solution. I can't say anything more than that.
If I could just say, is that what I've heard through the grapevine?
No, I'm not doing grapevine, I'm sorry.
No, well, I'm just saying that I've heard that they're about to fold.
I can't say any more than that at this moment in time. All I can say is, in regards to the consultation with the preschool, you didn't have the meetings. I couldn't attend the meetings myself, and I know that the chair couldn't attend
You
the
wasn't-
meetings.
I don't think you was asked, was you?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Who, like the place could ask you?
No, at the last meeting, it was myself, Steve,
Yeah.
yourself, and Dick Moat, I think.
I felt so I've been said just me, Dick Moat and Steve.
No,
That was what I thought. Okay, I don't know.
it was myself and the chair.
Anyway, so that's
So-
fair enough. So
Okay.
we await and
Okay.
we wait for whatever comes back from whatever you're secretly keeping.
It's not secret. It's
The thing
confidentiality.
is, Rob, whatever's going to happen is whatever's going to happen with the play school, and I for one hope that felt if that is the case, if it's not, or they're going to move somewhere else, whatever they're going to do, I wish them all the best of luck.
Yeah.
But what I think they need to understand is that we've spent many, many years, as well as everybody else that's going to use this village hall, spent many years working on this to get it right for everybody, and I think we more or less have. And
Myself
the
and
play school, you know, the play school for one is going to benefit greatly from this new village
Yeah,
hall,
okay.
and that's quite clear to see.
Okay.
So.
And as I said, I've just put that there so that we can move on, because there's no point talking about it.
Well, there's no point you bringing it up, really, was it?
Okay.
Also, so can we have your thoughts? Because we're asked you to come, so many, you probably don't, you're not aware of this, you may be aware of this, but many, many years ago when we first started on this project, we had discussions with all the users of this village hall, and one of them, and the potential users of the new village hall, if it ever happens. Now, the Bowls Club were very much part of that at the time, as were the Karate Club and all the other clubs, the wood turning clubs at the time. Quite a few of us. So we all sat down and discussed what each individual club would want. Now, there was, I can't remember the lady's name, that she was very much
Janet
part of
Brown.
it. Sorry?
Janet Brown? Janet Brown? Janet?
It was Janet, whatever her name was.
From Station Road?
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Well, prior to that, I was on the committee
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
We got nowhere.
Yes.
nowhere with what, sorry?
Well, we tried raising money, that disappeared. We did various things, and it just went on, and we had meetings, then we had another meeting, then we had another meeting, and we never progressed. We just all got fed up. I was on it for several years.
On the CCP committee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember seeing you. I was there most of the time. I'm saying you
I
wasn't
was
there. I can't
there
remember.
at the beginning of it all.
Okay. So where
And
did
then
you?
after so many years, I just got fed up with nothing happening. And people on the committee said, never happened in my lifetime. Why do they go on the committee?
Exactly, negativity, and I agree
Yes.
with you. So
So we all got fed up. Someone else took over, then Janet took over. And everybody just got fed up, so we don't bother now.
okay, that's fair comment. So as you know, this committee has been running for a few years now.
Yeah.
And the idea is to progress it rather than beat about the bush and argue about silly little things. So that's where we hope to be at the moment. So the reason we've asked you to come tonight is that we want to just get a bit of feedback from what would be ideal for the Bowls Club within the new
We
village.
gave you a detailed thing of how much footage and everything that we wanted with the last plans. We laid it all out. We gave all in complete detail. I was notified at last minute. I haven't got it. I don't know where it is at the moment. We gave all that. It was completely ignored, and they just gave us a little cubby hole.
I don't quite agree with that because
I do.
Okay,
I saw.
that's fair.
I know the plans. I know what we asked for.
Mary, could I ask
So
when you dig them out, you can circulate them to us, if that's okay? Could I ask that when you can find them, could you circulate them to us?
Can I?
Could you send them to us?
They should have them.
Unfortunately,
They should have the details of how many square feet and everything we need for the club, for our tools and equipment. We sent it all through, and we were just given one cubby hole that we couldn't get everything into.
who sent that?
Even the lawnmowers wouldn't go into it.
Who sent that?
The Bowls Club committee.
Yeah, but I mean, who actually pressed the button? Do you know? Because I can find
Myself and Mary Driver.
Who?
Mary Driver.
Okay. Well, I'll try and find that on my laptop.
Yes, it was all done and it was all sent through.
Okay, so from my memory is like I said, we had all the groups here, and we sat around the table, and it was mostly there when we done it. And from my memory is that the Bowls Club wanted a change in area, which is fair enough. It's going to be part of the new build anyway, so that's always going to be there. There was always agreed that whenever the playgroup wanted it, the bowls club needed to use it, whether it be a Wednesday, I think you do Wednesdays and Fridays.
No,
At the time?
we do Tuesday, Wednesdays and Fridays,
Oh,
sometimes a Monday,
Okay, so
occasionally a Thursday.
it was always agreed that on the Tuesday, whenever you wanted to use it, then the changing rooms and etc. would be
Yeah.
open for you, for your use. So whoever else was in booked in, they would move away to accommodate you. It was also agreed, that's why the kitchen was changed around, so that you could actually use the kitchen without having to go into the hall. You can access that from the back. So there was actually a kitchen area there with a hatch, so you can actually serve outside, or people can come through the back and you can have your teas and coffees. That was always agreed, and that was why that was moved from the left-hand side to the right, to make it easier. We also suggested, that was all suggested at the time, that the Bowls Club had elderly people, and I get that, and some of them couldn't walk very well, I get that as well, and some of them may even be in wheelchairs and whatever. So we get all that. So we did say at the time that we could possibly turn the whole thing around. So the change rooms at the moment are going to be far 30 metres from where
Yeah, that
we're
was
looking.
the other side.
So we
yeah.
did suggest at the time that the whole thing could be turned around on its axle, and that would be closer for the Bowls Club. So that was one idea that came up, and that still can happen, because it's not set in stone, it's got to be that way. As long as it's where it is, that can be changed. The other thing as well is what the Bowls Club asked for at the time was a separate area for a patio area with some chairs closed off with a fence, so they could have their chairs and tables and stuff like that. And that was also agreed at the time, and I don't know if they're in the minutes or whatever, but it was also said that could be a possibility, but that would have to be done after the build is, because we need to get the build up first, and then that could come afterwards if there is
Yeah,
funds.
but how many years afterwards?
How many years? How long's it been a street? We don't know.
Yeah, I
This has
know.
dragged on long enough.
Why can't it be included in the original thing?
And it may well do, but at the moment, we have a budget. So, if we suddenly say, yes, we give the Bowls Club, I don't know, 20 by 20 area to have their table and chairs, and they can have their patio area.
That is what it desperately needs.
And-
It's
and
something
I
to
don't-
socialise with.
And I don't disagree with you. I
It
don't
would
disagree with you.
improve membership of the Bowls Club if we could
But it comes-
socialise, but
but it
there's
comes-
nowhere suitable to socialise.
Okay, so that comes at a price.
Yeah.
So, we have a budget, and every month we store, and every year we store, it's going up and up and up and up. So that's something what we
We
can
do need to
do.
get it right though, don't we? So if the budget has to go up, then it has to go up. This is here for the entire community.
Say again, sorry?
This is here for the entire community for a long time to come. We need to get this right.
And we have to do it right for everybody.
Exactly.
So where is that?
I'm very interested in what my member is saying now, and if there was issues with the plans, we need to have a look at them and ensure that those are catered for. Simple as
Okay,
that.
so we did that, but we felt at the time, over many meetings, that these sort of things are extras. And I'm going back to the Bowls Club, it's the same thing for them. They wanted a big play area adjacent to it. I don't see why the village should have to pay for that. I think if the Bowls Club want their own little area to have, their play area, same as they have here, they funded that. No one else funded it, they funded it, so they can have that. No one's saying they can't have it, but it can't be part of that build because it's just too much money. So if we say, if this committee says yes to you, we'll have a nice big patio area and all very nice, and I get it, and I think it would be nice for the whole community. It would be good. So we said yes to you, and then we said yes to the play school, and then we've got to say yes to the other people, and then Ray wants a bloody funeral parlour put in there, we've got to say yes to him. Do you know what I mean? So where's the stop? We keep going, we keep going.
The problem with that
So we
concept,
have to have, and we've done this over many meetings, we have to have somewhere we need to cut off. Now that's not to say that we will not save money on this project, and I think we'll save some good money on this project if we ever get it going. And there's lots of things that we can do to save money. So we save money, we can add that on to the end. No one's saying we can't have it. We're just saying we need to be.
Can I just...
Yeah, but in the original plans, why can't you include everything?
Exactly.
I just
To
explained
see
why.
if everyone's
But
happy.
I just explained why.
Before you
Because
start
plan.
cutting
I
things
just
out.
explained why, because at the moment we can't afford it.
yeah, but there's a difference between the plan, okay, that you work towards, that you will fundraise, and the bigger picture. And I think that's, again, if you was to look at preschool as a concept, the core reason that there was an issue was there was no sign or indication that the preschool had an adult play area. You're not saying this is what we're going to pay for this. Completely off book. If that was the case, then yes, the preschool, the Bowls Club may have to do their own fundraising for that portion of it. But for the core of the body, that's all that's been included in the visual and the explanation to the wider community, and that's what you see is what you get. There is no clear definition at all that there's going to be or could be a patio area. This area has been designated for a patio area. This area has been designated for a play area.
Okay.
So that way it would make
I'll explain
the
again.
planners more clearer on the intention and the use of the space.
I'll explain again. At the time, we didn't put it on the plans because we thought that the extra cost would be too much to put on. At the time, it was 675 or 675. It's now gone up to 730, 750. So as we go along and each month passes and each year is going to get more and more and more. We know that because of the way prices are. So the answer to your question is, no one's saying you can't have it. No one's saying that the play school can't have what they have. But at the moment, I don't see any reason to put them on the plans.
But Carl, there isn't any plans.
There is, we have.
There aren't because they're out of date.
Well,
There's no plans whatsoever now.
No, because you said at the last meeting that those plans were scrapped.
I didn't say that, Scott.
Well, in effect they are because there's no planning
Oh,
permission.
certain people vote not to reapply for the plan permission. The plan permission is there. It takes a phone call and a plan
Yes,
permission
but
that's in again.
So what we're saying is the current plans don't work for most of the users. So we need to
So
go back to
what
someone
users don't we work for then, Steve?
So we need
What
to get
users don't we work for?
they don't work for the Bowls Club, they don't work for the preschool.
They've got everything they
You've
want.
just heard that.
So where do we stop, Steve? Well, because they haven't got a patio area.
If we have,
Just list it all as stuff that you need.
Well, what else did you
if we
say you
have
needed?
an area to socialise from
Yeah.
where the Bowls Club is now,
Mm.
that is a through way. You keep saying, yes, we can have this, we can have that. And then it'll come down, oh, that's for emergency vehicles, you can't have this.
Exactly.
It's got to be.
So
on
it's
the
got
plans.
to be in the plan.
It's got to be in the plans.
As I just said, what goes in the plan is one element of it. That's the plan that the community see, that's the plan that we've worked towards. The actual project, okay, you can almost outline the project in red and say, right, here's a bit of blue area, that's where the Bowls Club will have their social area in there.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant that they have to perhaps fundraise themselves for that, but if it's shown in the plan, made clear the indication of the use of the space, then there is no misunderstanding. There's no, it can't be, interpreted in another way. And again, I'll go back to the preschool. On those plans, there's no outdoor play area. Even if there was, you don't have, no one's asking the parish council or the CCP or whoever to raise the money to pay for it. But if it's on the plan and it's made clear in the business plan that area highlighted in purple, for example, is the responsibility of the preschool, responsibility of the Bowls Club, then there is no misunderstanding, and that's where there's lack of planning here. The plan does not exist because none of that is made clear.
It doesn't exist, right, because you don't want to.
No, I do want it, but it needs to be there and clear for people
This
to
lady just
understand.
said to us, like not 5 minutes ago, that she's tried to fundraise, they tried to do this, they tried to do it and got nowhere. Am I right?
Yeah, is that
Okay,
right?
so-
No, the CCP,
fundraise.
Committee,
the
yes.
committee.
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you something. This CCP committee have done fun days, they've done bingos, they've done Halloween nights. What else have we done? There's loads of different things we've had.
Yes, I know, I've been to some of them.
Yeah, so we have tried, and we've done quiz nights up at the pub when the anchor, Victory. Sorry, when the Victory was there, we've done quiz nights. So we have done our bit. We have been fundraising
So what
to
we're saying,
get this up off the road.
So what we're saying is when we build a new build, no matter how much we fundraise, we're not going to have any money to then put a patio or specific areas in. So what we build from day one has to be right. That's what we're saying.
So where are we going to get the extra money? Where are we going to get the extra money to put that on there? Where are we going to get extra money to put the place on there?
I don't think they're saying they want building.
No,
What we need.
but that costs money because you can't just add it. We have to go to the planning. We have to go to fix Robertson, whatever you want to call it.
Carl,
And they, I'm talking. Can you finish my job?
yes.
So when you go to them, they don't do it for free. So then we have to do all the drawings again. We have to change everything. But when afterwards, then we can put them on there. Then we don't need planning because there's stuff you don't need planning permission for.
Carl, the problem is that what you're saying now goes to the very heart of the consultation, and in particular its integrity and its sincerity, because you're behaving as though that plan still exists, which it doesn't, and you're already ruling out what this lady wants. So it's not going to be a proper consultation with that attitude. Now, who's interrupting who?
I didn't rule it out. I said she can have that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
we
but
can't
there's
go on
nothing-
plans.
It's not to the plans, there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee
If we
unless
said,
it's in
we
the
get the
interest of
money,
the
we want
project.
to do it, somebody will say, oh,
Oh,
we've got to get planning permission.
Yeah.
It has to be in the
It's
project.
got to be in the original plans.
Yes.
Carl, we're supposed to be asking the village what it wants. That's the starting point of this consultation document. Your plan goes right out of the window at the moment. Something like it may come back eventually, but at the moment that plan is dead. We are asking the village what they want. And this lady, along with many others, has every right to make a point.
And she has. And we've answered it.
And you just
We've answered it.
rejected it.
You haven't answered it. You've completely shot her down.
I haven't shot her down at all. How have I shot her down?
You've told her we can't afford it.
You've just told me it's not going on the plans.
We don't
No,
need to
we
go on the
can't.
plans.
They
There's
just
stuff
need
we
to
can
go on
have
the
on
plans.
They do need to go on the plans because
I mean,
the reason they need to go on the plans is
Okay.
this generation, the next generation and future generations will now know.
You have no
What?
business sense at all. Right, so what do you propose? What do you
Can I
propose?
just say there at this moment, if you put it on the plan, you are 100% committed.
Exactly.
If the Bowls Club walk away for various reasons, you're still committed.
Okay.
And I must admit, listening to you all, I'm with Carl because it's something you don't need planning permission for. The main thing is the building. And long as the Bowls Club get inside the building what they want, and there's areas to the sides or the ends or whatever, surely that makes more sense to just add that afterwards, as and when the village can afford it, or the Bowls Club, the play school can add to it, like they had here. But if you put it on the plan, to me, the village, like me or anybody, you know, you are committed then to putting it in.
And again, Ray, let's make it quite clear. How many areas of this kind of project have you seen where they've actually got a future development? And if you take, for example, the development at
You're not
Green Park,
you're not
if you
talking the
take
building.
no, hold on,
You're not talking the building. All you're talking of
Hold
is
on.
just putting the food paving slabs out.
Hold on. Okay, whenever you do a project of this nature, okay, I have worked on many. What you don't do is you don't say, here we go, we're going to do this. If you have an intention to be bolted onto that, okay, you know, here's a building, there's a bit of green space here. Why is there a bit of green space? Well, I'm glad you asked that question because this is where the Bowls Club are going to be putting their outdoor area. If you indicate that in your project, there's two things happen. Funders will look at you as not being fixated on the today. You're also thinking about the future. So
I'm
right.
100%
Okay. All right. So by having a project like the business plan that says, here we go, this is the building here, we've allocated this little space here for, this is where the Bowls Club are going to be situated. The Bowls Club in future generations, or today, tomorrow, next week, next year, who knows, have got this little bit of space here that they would like to then further develop. You've indicated on the plan. Now, what it does allow us to then do is then go down different phases of the project. It means that today this is what we're talking about, tomorrow we want to do this. And if the Bowls Club then, the Bowls Club completely independently can then go, thank you very much, that little bit that you've allocated to us, that you've highlighted in purple, we can now go off, we can go and do our own take measure and go, that's going to cost 3,000, 4,500, you know, whatever it is, they've got a target now. They now have got a target, and it's agreed because we've discussed it and we've agreed it, and we've passed it back through to the parish council and said, you know, the reason why this area here is under development is because we've agreed that they can go and do their own fundraising. It's nothing to do with the CCP to do the fundraising. The Bowls Club, the preschool, whoever can go do their own fundraising and raise the money to do the outside play area, the the patio area where you'll talk about is a few slabs, but to them that's a lot of money. You know? So they might want to do the own fundraising for that.
I think
So all I think that's what these ladies are saying. It's not in the plan. If you look at the plan to say, and look at the drawings as well, the guys who do the drawings, I'm sure it's not going to take them cost a whole bunch of money for them to highlight an area that could be highlighted for the Bowls Club / the preschool.
If you put it on the plan,
not the submitted plan, the plan that you would explain to the parishioners, okay, what's going to go on today and what's going to go on tomorrow. The concept plan you show the parishioners. The planning application is going to be this. It's going to be the core of the building.
well, you've really got to have the plans exactly the same for both, personally.
Oh, I don't know. Again,
If you put that on the plan,
we're obliged to do it. And if we go to
that
the
is
video,
right, because then the council won't pass it off because it hasn't been done. It hasn't been completed.
so the council did.
But if this is for
Well,
all
not
the
the planning application. The planning application is to build the
No,
building.
when you come to build the place, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you build the place,
Yeah.
say the Memorial Hall,
All right.
and you agree that you're going to put this on this end and that on that end,
Right.
and then when you want to get the building signed off and everything,
Right.
unless you've got everything completed to what's on the plan, they
on the
won't
plan
pass
application.
it off. Is that correct?
That's plan application.
And that's excellent, because then we deliver for all the users.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so what
what
happens?
that's a plan application.
Yeah,
That
but
doesn't-
then you've got
that doesn't
to
stop the-
actually do
That
the
doesn't stop
work.
the project. Yeah, but that doesn't stop the project managers to say, okay, right, we've got to build this today, and these Bowls Club want to have that functionality for the future. We're not saying we're doing it for them. We're not saying that it's got to be part of the core plan. It's the next phase, and you're just designating it and saying, fine, they've got, you don't have to commit to it. If the Bowls Club closed, there's a bit of space. Do something else with it. It doesn't go on.
Okay.
It doesn't have to go
I think we're
on
saying
plan application. It goes into the project.
Rob, thank you. So, the way I see it, did you want to say something, David?
Well, no, Rob just said, just mark it down as a dedicated area for bowls or play school. I don't want to be in the plans, etc.
We've already done that as a verbal.
Yeah.
We always have been done as a verbal, and I think that's good enough for a verbal. The one thing I will say is that Ray's right in one way, is that if we go to the village and say, this is what you're going to get, so it's going to be hopefully the new memorial hall, bit for the Bowls Club, bit for the play school, blah 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 blah, and then we build it and we have no money for it. Where are we going to look there? We're going to look silly. We're going to have egg on our face because we're told this is what you're going to get, and then we can't deliver it because we have no money. So I'm quite happy for it to be minuted that we will look into that after it will be part of the secondary plan. Do you understand me?
So can I ask you for a minute?
You haven't got the first one.
So can I ask you for a minute then? The preschool and the Bowls Club are not content with the current plans.
Well, they're not saying that, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Both of them.
Yeah, they are.
It doesn't work.
Are you not happy with the plans then?
Well, if it's going to come secondary and everything, no, I'm not.
So,
Because we haven't even got the initial part first. And I've been
let's
on
make
this
it,
for, what, 15 years?
let's make it crystal clear.
Sorry,
Honestly, no, you have to, don't write nothing down.
It's not listening to you.
Okay. Sorry. So what I'm saying to you is, so you're happy with the change rooms, so you'll be using the change rooms as sports change rooms, you're happy with that, if you need them?
We prefer just one nice large hall for our own use.
A hall?
Well,
An area.
like we have now, only slightly larger.
Okay, so you can have...
And then we can have an outside thing combined.
So what I'm saying is, so part of this build is, there's change rooms there if you need them.
Yeah.
There's a kitchen there if you need it. And there's a hall if you need it. What more do you want? Anything else?
It depends
You want your own space.
We want our own space.
We all want our own space, but you know...
We're not
unfortunately,
going
it
to
doesn't
open
happen,
up
does
the
it?
whole thing every evening just so two or three people can sit and natter.
But you want us to spend X amount
We
of
want
time for
a small thing,
Okay.
just a small room, slightly
We're not happy
larger
with
than
that.
what we've got,
We're not happy what we get. Thank you.
so that we can all sit there and socialise.
Instead of taking that attitude, why don't you listen to people?
Well, I listen to people because everybody knows on that where that village hall is been planned around every single club in this village, and I do resent the fact that people, you know, the people that are against it and the people that are for are really trying hard. So
Well, the
in
most
that
success-
hall,
Yeah.
when the play's filling up there is a separate room there for a little meeting room. So that doubles up for the play group to do their colouring and drawing, their little rooms, whatever they want to do. And then in the evening times, it is then free for meetings like this, so we don't have to open the whole village hall for that little corner.
So the preschool would have to
The
tidy all their stuff away and
the
have it going
most
storage.
successful bowls
Unfortunately,
clubs
yes. There is
are the
storage.
ones that
There is
have their
storage.
own little area. We're not asking for a huge space, just slightly larger than what we've got. So you can sit there and mix.
Hmm?
That isn't big enough.
What is it?
If you've got 24,
what's not big
24
enough?
bowlers, when it rains, where do we go?
What's not big enough?
Huh?
What's not big enough?
Well, the room that we've got at the moment, we need something slightly larger.
I've just said to
We
you.
gave you all the dimensions that we would like for that,
Okay.
and what we need to keep the equipment in. And if we could have that, that would be ideal.
And I wish
That is
you
all. We
did.
don't want the use of the
Yeah,
whole hall.
okay, so that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. But what I'm trying to say to you is, everything that you've asked for, has been put into that new village hall.
Mary, do you have a
Everything.
storage requirement for your kit at the moment? You have a storage requirement for your kit at the moment, don't you? You need to store your stuff. So where do the bowls club store their stuff on these plans?
Okay, so you may not know, you probably weren't on the parish council at the time, but a few years back, the parish council paid £2.5 grand for a brand new 24-foot container, and it was always, and I wish Neil was here tonight because he'd back me up on that, it was always agreed that the Bowls Club will have part of that container that belongs to the parish council as their storage, which will be far more than what they have now.
Is this the container that's full of all the white line painting kit and all the goals and stuff?
Where
No,
is,
that's not.
excuse me, where is this container going to sit?
On the playing field.
Which playing field? The back playing
Yeah,
field?
yeah. Where it
Who's
sits
going to
now.
carry all that equipment from there?
Where it is now.
We're all old,
And it's heavy, isn't it?
and it's heavy stuff.
Okay.
It was all like
That's
that
fair.
before,
You said that's fair.
and they saw sense and said, well, you can't carry it all that way.
We'll move it closer then. How about that?
Yeah.
We can do
There is no
that.
way to move it closer, though, is there? You're just being ridiculous.
We can.
What we need
I'm
to
trying to be proactive, not negative.
Alright, so where are you going to move the container to?
No, anyway,
So all sorts of...
Can the Bowls Club then write a letter to us, an email, if you can please, and letting us know exactly what you would like. Thank you. Would you do
What,
that?
a container?
No. What you want part of this new village hall.
You've already.
Well, that's the
Can you do that? Can you do that?
consultation, isn't it?
Can you do that?
Yeah,
Well, can
I suppose
somebody
we
do
can. But
Well,
if
yeah,
you
thank
don't
you.
know, we've given it to you once.
Well, I didn't get it, or might be able to find it, Rob Lucas might have had it, I don't know. Who had it?
Right.
Can you, if you
I'll
can just
see
write
if-
down...
I don't know.
I will have a look.
If you can just
I will
write
have a
down
look
the
for you
files.
So yeah,
to
I'll
see
have
if
a
there's
look.
anything I've got.
I'll chase the secretary
historically,
of the
okay.
file.
I'll look on your behalf and see if I've got anything.
Yeah.
And I
And
will
I will
too.
then circulate it if I do find it, and I'll ask anybody else
But
who
there's
might
been
have
two
it to
different
circulate
plans.
And
it.
I will too.
There's been
Thank
two
you.
different plans.
Okay, yeah.
The first plan was much better as far as we was concerned than the second. The second was, we didn't like at all.
Okay. All right.
But the first plan was quite good as
Okay.
far as we was concerned, and it served our purpose.
So which one did you submit, the first or second?
Pardon?
Which one did you send originally then? Was it the first or the second? So you said it was two
I'm
plans?
not quite sure.
You're not too sure? All right.
If
Okay.
you can find them both, that'd be handy, we can send them both, and then you can look for
I'll
them.
see what I can
Yeah,
find.
if you can, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, I'll see
In the
if
meantime,
if they've
failing
I
that,
haven't got it, but
failing that, you know, rather than have to go and do all plans, if you could just drop us an email, ask Neil or whoever wants to drop me an email, and then outlining what you would like in the new village hall, and then we can bring it to this committee. Are you
okay.
happy with that?
Yeah, I'll
Thank
send
you,
it
thank
down
you.
to you, yeah.
Thank you. Everybody happy with it? Agenda 4?
Chair asks proposal to send things across.
Number 5. To read the contents of the fact sheet flyer to go to all homes in Clenchwarton. I just set his flyer out, what he done about 2 years ago, I think now. Outlined some of the stuff which I thought was decent, but obviously needs some work to it. So anybody got any ideas that they want to put across?
Well, this is the fact sheet that you
Yeah,
altered.
not lies, not lies.
Yeah,
facts.
the fact sheet.
Thank you.
In this fact sheet, will it include the information that came from the report?
It can do, it cannot.
Yeah.
Whichever.
Okay. Because in that report it does declare quite clearly that, you know, due to lack of funding, in so many words, there was a suggestion, of course, that one of the options was to put up the village precept. So we are going to acknowledge that because I think in his version of the actual document, the actual fact sheet,
You said about the
he
precept?
talks about putting the precepts up.
Precept or council tax?
Council tax, sorry. Council tax.
Council, precept drives council.
The precept top drives the council tax, yeah. So, are we going to make it also quite clear that the government have also said that they will be putting the council tax up across the country? So it has to be reflected in that report, being factual speaking.
Well, we don't know they are, do we?
Well, we do, so.
When did they say that?
Well, I don't know how you keep up with current
I didn't hear
affairs,
it, so
but the government has said quite clearly that there will have to be a price.
I think most of it goes up every year, doesn't it?
No, this is on top of it. Due to COVID, they are going to put I do believe they said a minimum of 5% increase.
Okay.
So that will then
Is that rumour, gossip, or is that fact?
No,
That's-
I've heard that.
that's the government speaking. That's top level government speaking
Yeah.
to the nation.
Well, I haven't heard it. so-
Okay. Well, that's
Okay, so the way I see, I think maybe it should go. I think we should keep it simple. I think we should keep it to the point, if you like. So, I mean, I think none of the questions, you know, do you want a new memorial? Yes or no? That's one.
Are we doing question or are we doing fact sheet? Because we're talking about fact
Based on
sheet.
the questions, what the parish council was submitted to Dickman, what all the parish councils was asked to submit, where are all them questions?
Well,
I tried to read them out at the meeting before last and we got completely ignored. I wasn't allowed to read them out.
This is not the question. This is the fact sheet we're talking about now.
This is the fact.
okay, the fact sheet then. So
So we shouldn't be asking questions.
Okay, so on the fact sheets then, that we to send out. So there's going to be, so we're going to send two different things out there.
We're sending out a fact sheet, which is what we said.
Yeah, so we'll send a fact sheet and then we're going to send...
And then with that fact sheet, you're going to do your questionnaire.
Okay, so on the fact sheets, then I think it should be the true cost of it.
Got to be.
That's one.
Okay.
Which can quite easily be found.
Let's agree the true costs as a starting point.
So again?
Let's agree the true costs as a starting point.
Say that again, sorry.
Let's agree.
Let's agree that what the true costs are as a starting point.
Yeah, well, we will do, because we'll just get Big Sponsor to give us an estimated price on the three levels. You get a low level, middle level, high level. So I'll go to them next week and I'll ask them to what square metres and what the average square metre is.
Based on what?
Low, to how to build it. They do it all the time, Steve. Professionals, believe it or not. So
Well, your
we do a
figure,
medium,
Carl,
we do a medium and we do a high, yeah?
your figure, Carl, to, I think the parish council, maybe in this meeting, about a month or two back, was 730,000. That's what I heard.
Say again, sorry?
Your figure, you
Yeah, that was the last figure.
yes,
700.
and of course that is quite a few years old,
Maybe 18 months, yeah. But anyway, maybe
which takes you to this issue of the line,
Yeah.
which needs nailing.
I agree with
Well,
you.
I just leave it hanging in the air,
I agree
with
you.
building costs going up at 10-15% per annum, whatever it is.
What do you think it's going to be?
I think it will be by the time if
Don't
we
tell me.
did anything like the plan, which isn't the current plan but is now
Okay.
defunct, if we did anything like that,
That's good.
I think that would be about £1 million
Okay, so you think?
as building costs,
Okay, thank you.
based on your figure and the increase in building costs.
Okay.
And that figure of £1 million was not first mentioned by me.
Okay, thank you. So, if you think of $1 million, so whatever
Yeah,
it's
what
going
do
to
you-
turn out, it might be 850. I do not know.
Yeah.
You do not know. Nobody knows.
No,
I will ask the question. So, when they price these things up, so you get a low budget one, you get a medium budget, or you get the highest spec. We went for the medium. Okay. Within that medium, the play school got toilets. I'm being honest now. I'm not picking on the play school. I'm telling you how it was. So the play school, they got their toilets for them only, for their use. They also got a separate room to do their works and bits and pieces that they want to do during the day. They also got a partition, not particularly just for them. We also got a partition amongst that, so then they could leave their stuff out on one side of the hall, and then other users could use it on the other side during the day, so they wouldn't tie everything up. So that was in the medium one. Now that came out. The latest one we had was 730k. Okay. So alongside that, and this is why I was saying to this lady about the bowls, and this is what I'm saying about the play school. So we can go to a low budget one if you want, but that will kiss goodbye to the extra toilets, the toilets that are especially put in there for the play school. That will also get rid of the little room that they want to use, and maybe you'd be able to keep a partition so then they can have one side and we can
Why
use
would it
the
get rid of that basic requirement?
Say
Is
again?
that why would it get rid of that? That would shut them down. It shuts them down anyway, because can't move into it, but that would really stick the end of them. Why wouldn't you get rid of the officials changing rooms? Bear in mind, it's got
Because
all the
as again you don't understand, do you, Steve? So part of the 210, 20,000, whatever it is the FA are willing to give us, and that's not on the table. That's
Nothing.
Sorry?
Nothing.
Say again?
They're not willing to give anything, are they?
Yeah, they are. I've got documents there. I've got
You've got the documents. You've got the documents. So we've asked you to circulate the documents. You've got the documents.
So documents for the football club, nothing to do with you. So with that, so there's 200. There's
This is a
200,000.
joke, Carl. You can't behave like this.
Can I just finish?
I think you just need to amend your behaviour and your demeanour.
Can you
It
stop
is not
interrupting?
proper.
That's rude as well, isn't it? Andy?
It's not proper.
Andy, right, Steve. So, £200,000 are coming from the FA. That pays, let me just explain, because I'm sick and tired of hearing false information coming from your mouths. Right. So, £200,000 are coming from the FA. I have an email to say that that money, I have also got information that there is money for us to have for this £200,000. That pays for that end. Part of that £200,000 is that we have to go by what they say they want, part of that bill. Now, believe me, I know, and you know, and everybody else knows, that them official rooms probably never ever get used. I know that. You know that. And I also know that probably 2 of them change rooms will never ever get used. You all know that, and I know that. But the FA, if they're going to give you that money, that's the template they want. I can't do anything about that. So that's it. So I can't say to them, can we just narrow it down? Because they won't let me do it. So they'll say, no, that is what it is. So let me just explain another thing to you there. So in the FA have offered us that money, and we can go on our own. So, and what they're offering is change rooms, a meeting room, quite a big meeting room, and also a little room there for the clerk at her office. Now they have companies that are on their framework, and there's only 2. There's one that works from up north, and the other one's up north, and there's one down south that does it all down south. Now they'll come and build this one, 450,000. Okay, we can't afford that. We cannot afford £450,000. So unless they're part of the bigger build, they're not interested in giving us £450,000. They won't. They just give us the bare minimum they can get away with is 220.
Can I just ask a question? When you're using these terminologies like give us, etc., can you define that as the football club or the CCP?
Well, CCP, because that is part of the bigger build. That is why years ago that they wanted to see something from the parish council, right? So the parish council at the time, okay, we'll give them an asset. We've got an asset here, 150, 200, whatever you want to have, how much it is, and that is why this was put up for sale to appease the FA.
I'm fully aware of that.
Okay.
But what I'm asking is, you say it's CCP, but countless times now, and tonight, we'll say to you, prove it. You want the facts. You're saying you want facts, not lies. I've asked this question. I'll ask it again now. Can we please see this evidence where we have got £200,000 from the FA? Can you produce the documents? Because when Dick Moat did his report, he came to you, he asked her a question, can I have the evidence? It never transpired. We had the report, it's there in the public domain. I've sat here and I've asked the question. Many people in this room have asked the question. Can we see the evidence? And you keep saying, I've got emails, I've got documents, I've got proof. Please circulate that proof. Please circulate that evidence so that it might, one thing you haven't really put into context here is you might actually get inspired by a few people if you actually did the things that you say you're going to do and be transparent and do factual. You're not being transparent, you're not being factual, because if you were, you would have circulated the documents on holiday.
Don't ever accuse me of saying that.
Then circulate them. Right now, don't have accuse in front of you.
I will always circulate stuff.
May I just
never say that again.
May I just
I just did, circulate them.
May I just make a straight point? If you're saying the figure of 730 was around, a couple of years back, whatever it was, you're also saying that the FA are driving this building, which the cost would be 450 for what they want. But they're only prepared to fund about half of that, is that correct? So we're all funding, we're being asked to fund what the FA or the football club should be funding. That is the difference between the 250 and the 450.
Is that right? Yes, another question.
You've got that wrong. So,
why have we got that
let
wrong?
me explain again then.
Well, you said the FA.
Okay. If we go alone,
yes.
A new building costs we're in the region of 450,000
Right.
on their framework.
Yes.
Fair enough. Now, the FA will give us 200, so we have to find 250,000.
Where are you going to find it from?
Well, we're not going to, are we? We're never going to find £250,000. That's never going to happen. Absolutely never going to happen. You know that, I know that. We have no money. We have no money. So, and if the football club come begging hands to the parish council and say, can you put another £10, £20 on everybody's council tax, give us some change rooms, please, and a little meeting room and a place for the club, what are you going to tell me? So that's out the window. So that's not okay. But
Paul, I don't know the answer to the question, but does the football club do its own fundraising? Can it get a loan for the 200,000 which you can pay off as a mortgage over 25 years?
Absolutely not. So what I'm saying to you is so if the FA, they're more interested in the bigger picture to be part of the community. So what they're saying is they'll give us £200,000 for. I'm really tired of keep talking about this because
We'll circulate the documents and copy this way again, will you?
you've got 3 areas, and I've said this many times. And I'm sick and tired of saying it. I don't know how often I have to say it. Sports pavilion, sports end of it all, you know, where there's sports, 200k. That's what they'll fund. They'll fund that bit of the 730. Yeah? Is that? Do you understand that?
Well, you said
Is that on a match funding
Do you
basis?
understand what I'm trying to say now?
No.
So,
it's the first.
200,000.
May I just make a point, please? It's the first time I've heard that the FA would offer about half of the building they insist on, which is about 450.
No, you're getting it wrong. You're getting it wrong. Okay.
I'm
Let me try and
sorry.
explain. Let me try and explain.
Does anybody else understand?
No.
If we wouldn't be, let's be honest, but so
You keep saying derogatory stuff. You keep saying it. It's fine. It's okay.
Sorry, I'm talking. Let me try and explain.
You keep going.
All right, I'll explain again. Come on.
Okay. If we want a purpose-built change rooms with a little meeting room, which is about probably half the size of this, and some toilets and some showers and some bits, the FA have a template. They have a building that they will put up for £450,000. But that's not what we're asking for. We can't afford that. The village can't afford that. I can't afford. The football club can't afford that. The bowls club can't afford. No one can afford that. So it's still a sports area, but it is for 450,000. Okay. But what they're more interested in is to be more in the village and more community relation. Is to add that build onto the bigger build. Do you understand me? So they're more interested in giving us £200,000 to build a new village hall, which is part of that 730. So if you take 200 off that, it's 530. 530,000 that the village you've got to find. Part of that then, Sports England are going to jump in because we can introduce sports in that bit, in the middle bit. So they're going to jump in with roughly about 175,000. But they won't jump in unless they jump in. So there's another 175,000 off. And then whatever else wherever else we get the money from, we put it into that big bill. That's as simple as that.
You're going to have to go somewhere else for that money.
For what money?
You know, well, Sport England aren't it?
How do you know that, Rob?
How do I know?
Yeah.
Well, they've said so.
When?
Right there.
When? Yeah. What's the date on that? Tell me the date.
The date on that, Wednesday 25th of August 2021 at 14:40.
Well, who asked for that information?
I did. Because I had a visit from someone who used to be on the CCP telling me a couple of things that were not quite resting happily in my mind. So I clarified the information with myself by Football Foundation and Sports England.
Well, what questions did you ask?
The same questions I've asked, I think, which is...
So are you actually telling me that you've gone behind this committee's back and gone to somewhere else to get information? Is that what you've
Anybody
done?
can go to
I've got to find out some basic facts so I can come to a meeting armed.
So-
Yes, Mr. Tordoff, thank you.
So you've actually gone behind everybody's
I haven't
back?
gone behind anyone's back. I've got to find out some information for myself, as I would expect any other councillor to do. To come to a meeting to have an informed discussion.
To throw that at people, yeah?
No, to come to a meeting to have an informed
So
discussion.
who are you talking to?
I've spoken to Sports England, I've spoken to the Football
Who are you
Foundation.
speaking to?
I'm not giving them.
Okay. I propose that we close the meeting as of now, please. Everybody.
You want to hear this?
I'll close it because
We need to hear this. If this is,
I was gonna
we're here to hear the
this is
truth.
important.
It's about collecting true facts. Let's have some
Can
facts.
we have a vote while we close the meeting?
We're currently saying we're going to put a letter out with the truth in it. We are now talking about the truth, and you're not happy.
Right, can you close the meeting at?
Hold on, are you proposing to close the meeting?
I'm proposing to close.
Okay, who's got a second, please? Can we have a second?
Have you got a second that wants to close the meeting and not listen to the truth?
Please.
Yeah, I'm not, you even tell me who's from.
Sports England Football Foundation.
Who?
But on the flip side of it, Carl, you're not prepared to come and circulate an email to say and get people on your side to say that you've got this money. It's always hearsay.
Listen, no one will give you any money, Steve.
No,
No one will give you any money
Let's do this.
until you start working on stuff.
Right, so just say that again, so I understand that.
You won't give. You won't
So
give.
we don't get any grants
I had a
until we
meeting.
start building this.
I had a meeting.
Just is that a yes or no?
What's that?
We don't get any money until we
Yeah,
start
we
building.
do get money, but as soon as the parish council puts some money in, we get money.
Right,
And you know that.
so we don't get money from these until we break the floor, yes? Is that right?
Say again?
So we don't get any money from these two until we break the ground, yes?
Not break the ground until we get money from the parish council. So when the parish council
That's not what you
says,
said before, is
when
it?
the parish council says that they have X amount, 20,000, 50,000, 200, 600, whatever it is, we're ready to go. Bang.
So how much do the council, how much do they need off the council?
Say again?
How much have they got? You say, as soon as they get money off the council, they will release that money. How much do they need?
That I don't know.
No, so I mean, they
That I
might
don't
turn
know.
around and say,
Because
well,
the only thing they asked us to do at the time was to put this up for sale. And
Yeah,
then
I-
that would treat itself.
I can just clarify that, because I was with Kevin Bell
I don't believe you, right? You're wasting my breath. I just
at
don't
the
believe it.
pavilion, and the two from the football and whatever was there, and they made it very, very clear that they wouldn't guarantee any money until the parish council made a commitment.
Okay,
So
so
that was when it was suggested then the village hall go on to the market,
right.
and we asked them then, what would you think of that? And they said 100%. Once you get a buyer for the village hall, then they
So you've actually got to have a buyer.
Well, obviously you've got to do a buyer somewhere.
Because, see, okay, with the greatest respect, right, every conversation thereafter before was, we don't have to sell the Memorial Hall, we just have to be seen to be on the market.
Yes, I
So,
agree, but
please, Ray,
hang on,
understand the concept.
I'm just saying,
And
village hall,
lines.
you've got to come up with money, or,
I get that.
and we said, well, we haven't got money, so then they suggested the village hall,
Right.
and they said,
Without
stop.
consultation.
So in other words, if you've got a commitment, the village has got to have a commitment
Yeah,
before they will agree.
right, which is brilliant. So Sport England have said, if you, Sport and the Football Foundation have said that if we fund the project, they will consider a funding application. They can't do that. They can't do that. They cannot give you a guarantee
Did you just
that
call me
they
stupid?
will fund a project without actually having a tangible business plan and a properly submitted grant application.
Well, can I just come back to me in 2 seconds? At this moment in time, we're getting absolutely nowhere with the current chairman. I propose that we have a vote of no confidence in the chairman and elect a new chair.
I'll second.
Okay?
I
Could I
agree
put
with
that to a vote? Vote for removing the current chair and electing a new one.
We've got a councillor in the loop.
One. Okay, we'll wait till he comes back then. Thank you for pointing that out.
We can't go on like that.
I'll tell you what, I'll save you the problem. I'll save you the problem. Can we go now or resign?
Colin, it's not utterly toxic and it's
You
The problem is, you can't go on this because you're talking about raising money for funds, funding applications that don't exist. Sport England will not, yeah, okay. I understand that they did say they would fund something. They consulted to help us to get that to that stage. They will no longer fund their project. You're okay? Sure?
I should walk instead of running. I'm fine. Just a card.
Maybe you're just a good one, right? You just give me a hit, you want me to check your email? You sure? Give you my pleasure.
Jamie, we have just had a vote of no confidence in
I guess it. There you go.
But he resigns.
So they put forward.
Halfway through that vote, the chairman resigned
And
and
it has no signal. That's the first thing. The second thing is funding's gone. Right. Yeah. There are so many people at the board's church. So many people have had to close. And there's no money because, unfortunately, because of they've had ACOUSTICS